We have never seen Max Holloway bounce back from a knockout loss. This is unprecedented territory right here. And if we know one thing about the last fight, at least, because it's too far back, 2012 is too far back to review tape and apply it to today. But if you go back to the last fight, early pocket exchanges, early and often. Holloway's the volume guy. Poirier maybe hits a little bit harder, but who knows? A lightweight, fully bulked out Max Holloway might be able to give him a couple of problems in that clinch, in that pocket presence. Is that the big question mark right here? Is there any other missing intangible that we need to talk about?
No, that is the big question mark, Derek. I mean, the big intangible that I was thinking, right, is who's better in those exchanges. Not necessarily a dog fight, because I can see both of these guys being very technical and back and forth, but in those moments, in those combos, in that chaotic pressure that you're talking about, how it's going to be starting fast, who's getting the better of those exchanges and who's a little bit more fresh. A lot of it does, the KO of Max Holloway does have me worried, especially before that, the Justin Gaethje fight. You're talking about a full 155-pound Holloway. That's what we saw against Justin Gaethje. He was able to take some lumps. He was able to get going, but who knows how much damage that plus the Poirier fight really did on him. So I'm interested to see how he comes out, if he's gun shy or if he's going to stay in this normal Max Holloway style, because we know he likes to bring the fun. It's just going up against a diamond. That's a hell of a task.
And to build off that, I thought it was interesting because Holloway just said recently in an interview that he couldn't fully bulk up to 155 when he fought Gaethje because he knew he had to go back down to 145. So he says this time, this is like the full Max Holloway 155. I'm ready to go. I'm bulked up, whatever that means, because we know USADA is no longer a part of the UFC. So whatever that means. But Poirier looks shredded. He looks in shape. And again, when it comes down to that Justin Gaethje fight, we did see a little bit more of a methodical Max Holloway. Not the crazy exchanges that I anticipate in this matchup, but who knows? I mean, Holloway does say he's looking to spoil the party. That doesn't mean that he needs to give you stand and bang from the very jump, especially because he got rocked how many times in their last fight. So the key that I see here is the long extended combinations for Max Holloway versus the big pocket hook exchanges, that left cross, that rear cross, right hook from Dustin Poirier. That's literally what this matchup is going to be about. Now, we need to just think to ourselves right here, unprecedented territory, or do we go back in the ways of old? The total right here is 4.5 rounds, minus 158 for the over, plus 124 for the under. What side were you thinking when you saw this matchup on paper?
I was thinking the over initially, Derek. Right when I saw this, I'm thinking this is going to be a long fight, especially because of how skilled both these fighters are. And I agree with you on the styles that they're both going to have to put. And knowing that about each other, knowing that Dustin does have that beautiful left hook, right cross combo that he likes to throw out with Holloway, looking to put the gas pedal on, I can see both of them having to find those ways to battle each other, making it a chess match, especially like you said with the Justin Gaethje fight, having a little bit softer of a start, right? A little bit slower of a start going forward. That's why I like the over.
See, it's tough though, man, because this is a Dustin Poirier retirement fight right here. So that all logic goes out the window pretty much when emotions can play a lot into this. If they say, all right, let's sit and let's bang, who's to say? I mean, Poirier is like, I'm going to be a silly goose and we're just going to go out there and we're going to be some knuckleheads and we're going to brawl. So we'll see what happens right there. But 2 points that I really wanted to talk about before we kind of finished up the total conversation right here. Danger zones. For Poirier, in my opinion, he has this style, especially against Max Holloway, where instead of circling out, he kind of backs up in a straight line, in a linear pattern up against the cage and does his shell. Shells up, Holloway gets off his 4 or 5 strikes, and that's when he starts unloading. Or he'll back up linearly and wait for Max Holloway to rush in with the long extended strikes and then pop him with one. It's just a power differential right there. That's the danger zone right there for Max Holloway, is how does he capitalize on those moments? Otherwise, if this does go long, 36-year-old Dustin Poirier, brother, rounds 4 and 5, we know Max Holloway is going to pour it on. What's the worst danger zone? Who's in more trouble of those 2 danger zones?
I think who's in more trouble of those 2 danger zones is going to be Max Holloway, because you need to get in there and you need to be able to have those burst combos, right? Get on the inside, hit him with a couple 4, 5, 6 combo, and then dip out. But in that time, Dustin Poirier is great at finding those counter moments. So in order for Max Holloway to engage and be the best fighter he can be, he needs to put himself in that danger, and especially up front early, the first 3 rounds, I think, are going to be more of an impactful time for Dustin Poirier to really get that work in. Because I agree with you. I think Max Holloway is going to close out the fight very strong.
All right, man. Well, the resumes speak for themselves. Again, this was a legends-only matchup right here. And if you look at what FanDuel is at least showing, I'm going to track all these off of FanDuel. Minus 132 for Holloway, plus 104 for Dustin Poirier. So this is getting a little even right here. I thought it was a little heavier on Max Holloway. I'm not going to lie to you. But Dustin Poirier is up 2-0 in this trilogy right here. So let's give the final takes, brother. How do you see it? Who you rocking with and why?
Ooh, folks, I'm rocking. I've been back and forth on this one all day. I can pull up the notes to show you. I originally thought Poirier was going to win this fight. I'm rocking with the Blessed Express, though, folks, and I'm actually taking Holloway by decision. I think this was going to be a very long fight, so whether you want to take the over or the decision, because you're rocking with the Blessed train right here, that's how I see this one going down. What about you, Derek?
I'm not going to lie to you. After doing extensive film study, reviewing this for the umpteenth million time, I wanted to go Max Holloway. But where's the fun in that? We're rocking with the fairy tale ending. We're rocking with Dustin, the Diamond Poirier. They say diamonds are forever and no fairy tales are real, but we're going to do it. The hometown hero right here. He's walking out to Lil Wayne and all that. Listen, none of this stuff matters. Remember, if you're placing your hard-earned cash on this one, I do think Max Holloway is the brain play. The heart play, we're going to rock with it for the sake of the Bloody Water Podcast competition. I'm going to go finish, knockout, or decision for Poirier, but I think the real play is over 4.5 rounds for the total, minus 158 on that. I think that's fair, especially if you're conflicted and you don't know how to choose. How does that sound?
That sounds beautiful. I'm telling you, folks, over 4.5 is probably the smartest play right here. You got to choose which one if you're looking to place some money on them.
That's it. That's it. All right. Well, that is your BMF belt, and that means Dustin Poirier walks away with the BMF belt. So we'll see what happens right there. Again, not a real belt. This thing doesn't count. But let's move on to the co-main event right here.